Constantine Village Council, April 7th, 2025. Open meeting at 7 o'clock. I'm going to welcome everybody. Clerk, if you'll call roll, please.
Steers.
Here.
Denman.
Here.
King.
Here.
G. Mathers.
Here.
M. Mather. Here. Lawrence.
Here.
Piper. Here.
Okay, record shows that all trustees are present and accounted for. If you would please stand and join me in saying the pledge of allegiance to our flag and country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You seen that commercial on TV where the guy's talking to the little baby and they're talking about how to say liberty or liberty? That just crossed my mind. I almost lost it. First time.
Once is enough.
Okay, this item is to approve our agenda for tonight.
I'll make that motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by trustee Lawrence, supported by trustee M. Mathers to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed say no. That motion carries. Next, we have the regular meeting minutes of March 17th, page 3 and 4.
I make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes of 3/17/2025 as presented.
I have a correction on that on C on page 4. Because the 29th as the Friday, it should be the 28th. If we need that on there.
Say that again.
Page 4 on C,
Right here.
or the meeting was on the 28th, not the 29th.
Well, that was a dumb thing.
I know.
Thank you.
I'll change that as amended.
As amended. And still waiting for a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Lawrence, supported by Piper to accept the regular meeting minutes for 3/17/2025 as amended. More discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed say no. That motion carries. Special meeting of March 28th, 2025.
I'll make that same motion for the special meeting minutes of 3/28/2025.
Second.
Okay, motion by trustee Lawrence, supported by trustee M. Mathers to accept the minutes from the special meeting of 3/28/2025. Discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed no. That motion carries. Okay, payment of bills, bill payments on pages 7 through 33. Breakdown that Jody and I both got was bills from Three Rivers, $134,812.10, $134,812.10. Other regular bills, $26,288.93. Police and Vandenbrink, one invoice for $8,632.14. And Grand River, bills for $459,486.40. Grand total, $629,219.57. $629,219.57. there'll be approximate numbers on the, of course, the sewer, between the main and Grand River. We're right around 90% done for the two. I think we've got bills of like 89% from police and about 91% from Grand River. We're getting there, close.
I have a couple questions.
Kathy?
Page 10, police and magistrates, 1,720.25, just a street improvement.
That's a Florence Road project.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
On page 10.
Yes, the top one.
Yep.
And then two down from that, the Graycon Services, new office, a new server. Is that part of that new software program that you're using?
No, it's a new, Mark might be able to better explain it. It's a whole new server for a whole system.
Our server is failing. It keeps going down. I don't know how many times we've had to restart it, but probably 15 to 20 times over the past couple of months. So I said, get here, get it fixed. It's supposed to be done. In fact, I spoke with them today. They're supposed to be here on the 30th and 31st. I think it was 30th of Wednesday. No? But anyway, they'll be here to get it fixed. They say there will certainly be an interruption, but he says that typically it's an hour or less that we would be without internet. He said, of course, it happens occasionally that it's longer, but I'm hoping for the best.
And then on page 11, Morris excavating the sewer break, where is that at?
That's an older bill that they finally just billed us for. Mark, do you know when the last one was?
Is that the one on King Road?
Yeah.
Is that January?
I think so.
Does it have a date on there, Jody?
I gotta go grab it. I'll be right back.
I don't remember what that's for. Oh, Jan's not here.
She was going to the.
Okay. I can tell you, we didn't have any force main break or anything like that, so.
While we're waiting, the bottom of the page there's PB Electronics for 1335, new equipment. Is that part of the server project? That same page at the bottom? PB Electronics, I don't recognize that vendor name.
No, that's ours.
That's yours?
Right. Yeah. It's a handheld laser speed detection device.
Oh, okay, cool.
Doesn't have a date of service on it. Was there one in town while I was gone?
Okay, I know the one they're talking, there was one on Centerville Street.
Okay.
It was,
On the 14th, on March 14th.
the date would be about right. I know that
Okay.
there was nothing in the force main, so, but we did have to repair a problem on Centerville with the force, or with the gravity main, so.
So the pipeline was actually broke?
I'm sorry?
Was the pipeline actually broke?
It wasn't broken so much, it was, they came to, if it's the one I'm thinking of, they came to clean out some rust buildup at one of the joints in front of the home at 470.
on the bills from Fleece, well, actually from Grand River. On page 15, $4,059.46.40. They gave us, I think, 5 subcontractor bills. CT, Allied Mechanical, CT, Electric has 2, Lakeshore has 1, and I totaled that up to, I think it was 173. I was just wondering where the rest of it is being billed from. Yeah, the total bill subcontractors is $173,538.53. And then you subtract that from the $459,486, you get $285,947.87. I'm just curious where that number came from.
You have,
I mean, they're reviewed by the engineer, so we would have to get that information from Joe
So
Benjamin.
would that be maybe Grand Rivers, whatever,
That's a possibility.
Grand Rivers? It would almost have to be, but that's a lot of engineering fees or whatever they use.
Well, it wouldn't be engineering from Grand River. It would be construction
Construction,
and labor.
so maybe, could we find that out somehow?
I will send Joe an email, see
Okay,
if we can
thank you.
figure it out.
That's all I have.
Any other comments or questions on the bills? Okay, could I have a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $629,219.57?
I'll make that motion that we pay the bills in $629,219.57.
Second.
Okay, motion by Piper, supported by M. Mathers, to pay the bills in the amount of $629,219.57. Any last discussion, questions, comments? Okay, we call roll, please.
Lawrence,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Steers,
Yes.
Denman,
Yes.
Jay Mathers,
Yes.
and Mathers.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. And next, we're at item 5, public comment. This is where, again, as always, we ask anyone in the audience that would like to address council to please step up to the podium if you're able and ask a question or make a comment. The opportunity to speak is one time only per meeting. I'll recognize you as you hold your hand, and from the podium, physically able to mention, speak one time, not to exceed 3 minutes in length. Anyone like to address council?
Mark Lowe, 1035 South Washington Street. This has nothing to do with village government, more nearly recycling or the lack thereof. Recycling in Constantine, it used to be that Michiana Recycling, it had a great recycling program. When LRS purchased the company, it was discontinued. At this moment, there is no recycling for the Village of Constantine. However, I knew it existed, but I'm going to repeat it so it shows up in the minutes for community awareness. From 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the side of the dump, right there in, right off of M60, you can take almost all recyclables. They only take number 1 and 2 plastics, but those can be commingled. and for that, you can take as much as you want for $1. So it's just, I'm doing this as a public service announcement. And perhaps if enough people from the Village of Constantine call LRS, because they are the big boy in the game for most most containers in Constantine that I observe, perhaps they claim it's coming, but it hasn't come in 2.5 years now. So maybe if enough people call, perhaps it can advance the cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, is this ongoing?
The recycling?
Yeah.
It's been going on for years
Oh,
actually,
okay.
but I'm just clarifying. I take it up to my school, but they don't like it. So I'm gonna start using that.
You said 7:30 to 11:30, is that Monday through Friday?
No, Saturdays.
Saturday.
Only
Saturday
Saturdays.
only, okay. I just wanted to make sure I can put it in there.
And if you remember Seinfeld and the soup Nazi, there's a recycle Nazi. She's a good gal, but she's no nonsense.
Got it.
Track. Roberts Road.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, moving on, any visitor presentations? Mark, did you have notice of any? No? Okay. Do you have any comments, Bruce? Okay. Move on down, page 34, unfinished business, starting with the FOP contract.
I don't really have anything to add to it. I did point out the two changes from the previous iteration. And essentially those were the premium pay for midnight shift, and the wage scale was incorrect in the contract, and that's been corrected. And I'm not the one that made the mistake, it was FOP representative, but I'm not casting aspersions, I just don't want to be blamed this time, so that's it.
I just wanted to clarify on page 27, the wage scale, is that just new hires or that's the whole wage scale?
That's the entire wage scale.
Okay.
I had a question on that same page. Does that include the cost of living expense, or is that additional to this?
That includes the raise they got this year. Is that what you're asking?
Well, so your 6 months, you start out 25.18 and then you go to a year. So that's the same, what is it, $1.05 after a
Yes,
year?
yeah.
Or is that seniority?
That's not a cost of living, that's a step raise.
That's a step rate, okay,
Yeah.
that's, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I will second that.
Motion by trustee Steers, supported by trustee Piper to accept the FOP contract as presented. Any more comment, questions? Okay, seeing none, clerk call roll, please.
King,
Yes.
Steers,
Yes.
Denman,
Yes.
Piper,
Yeah.
M. Mathers,
Yes.
G. Mathers,
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Item B, under unfinished business, sewer lake settlement, Michigan milk producers, page 63.
I don't have anything to add to the proposed agreement.
questions, discussion on it? This is a settlement agreement, paragraph 3, MMPA to pay an agreement amount 11.11 rate per 1,000 gallons, or what it used to be, and it would pay a rate of 15.25 per 1,000. Who's billing for the month of March 25 and beyond, in the event that they're not on the sewer system yet, or off the sewer system, excuse me.
I don't know if you wanna read the last paragraph or not, but.
MMPA anticipates that they will be off of our sewer system by June 30th, 2025, but the settlement agreement does contain a provision that the rates will increase effective July 1st if their new sewer treatment plant is not yet fully operational.
I should have concluded that it will increase to the same rate that customers in the village are paying. So it'd be $26.50.
The same rate as paid by other customers.
Yes.
Okay, again, if they're not off by June 30th, 2025 off our system, then the new rates applied as of July 1st will be the same as other customers in Constantine, $26.50 per 1,000 gallons. By other customers, okay. Kathy?
I have a question on, page 64, that bottom paragraph. About the rate not increasing until July.
I'm sorry?
Why the rate isn't increasing until July, even though they're still on the sewer system, March 1st through the 30th? I thought we discussed it before. I don't know.
I'm not sure which part you're talking about, we talked about before, but this is March 31st because, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nick, I can't really talk about the other part because that came
No.
out of the.
Mark? Shouldn't that rate be March 1, 2024? And through June 30, 2025?
No, that was what the original one was, but
I'm not sure I heard your question right.
The rate that it's going to, this says it's March 1, 2025 that it starts. Isn't it retro to March 1, 2024?
I'm sorry, but I'm not hearing you. The rate in 25 through June would be the same as they've been paying, the 15.25. So the rate that they're paying according to the agreement.
Okay, got it.
But if it goes beyond June, then it'll bump up to
To the
the
26th.
rate that everybody else is paying,
Okay.
yes.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. So we can't discuss the privilege part, I understand that. But what if there are questions about the privilege part that we wanna ask, we have to have closed session for that? Before, you understand what I mean?
No.
There's a question on when what the rate increase should be March 1st. That's the question she has, right? And so, but we can't discuss it publicly about, can we discuss that part? Because that, isn't that part in this agreement? What the new rate's gonna be?
Yes, it is,
Okay, so we're allowed to talk about that.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so there you go, I'll answer. We just don't know what we can and can't
Oh,
say.
yeah, I understand, but.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we discussed that the rate change would go up March first to 22.
No. No, the rate change effective April 1 of 25 will run through, as to what it has been, or what it will have been after they make a payment. And it's not until July 1st that it would go to the next level.
Doesn't it on page 64, recitals part B, say 2225?
I think that was the rate that we tried to adjust.
That's the rate we tried to.
It was disputed.
Yeah, the 2225 was the, essentially the first offer, so, but, or it was, I'm sorry, it was what the village, the entire village was paying.
On a side note, if they aren't fully operational, would our plant be able to handle their flow? Or
Would it be what, able to handle it there?
yeah,
It would be, now our plant would not be, it was,
Okay.
we would be still shipping it to Three Rivers via force main.
okay.
That was the whole reason they had to be off by,
That if they,
yeah, because we can't,
so would they,
that's not big enough.
they probably would pay for that, or?
Yeah.
No, they
Oh,
pay
yeah,
a new
just,
rate.
just like they do now. So,
Okay, okay. That was my one
But,
question.
and they're very confident they'll be off,
Yeah, I thought
uh, well before July 1st, but they're pretty confident they'll be done before June 1st. Yeah. Pardon me.
Word.
Motion to approve.
Anyone else? Okay, if not, is there a motion to approve the settlement agreement with MMPA sewer rates as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the sewer rate settlement with MMPA.
I support.
Motion by Denman, supported by Lawrence, to accept the settlement agreement, MMPA sewer rates as presented. Other comments or questions? Okay, we call roll, please.
Piper?
No. Sorry, I wasn't expecting you coming for.
Sorry. Mathers,
Yes.
G. Mathers,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
King,
no,
Steers,
No.
Denman,
Yes.
We vote.
4-3.
Okay, that motion carries 4-3. Thank you. Okay, moving on under new business, domestic and sexual abuse services contribution.
I don't know, think we were probably asked to make a donation last year, but it's a donation that is made every year to the domestic assault and sexual abuse program. It's, I don't remember how much it is per person, but it's,
It says 25 cents per person.
yeah, okay.
Is that the standard amount?
Yes, it is. It's actually a little bit lower. The total cost is a little bit lower because previously they had us as having more residents than we do. So the amount is the same, but the total cost is a little bit lower, so.
We did do this last year.
Yeah.
That's several years.
I make a motion that we accept the domestic and sexual abuse service contribution contract for the next year. That just has to go into the budget, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Make that motion.
I will second that.
Okay, motion by trustee King, supported by trustee Piper to accept the domestic and sexual abuse services contribution as presented, contract. Any more questions? Comments? Call roll again, please.
M. Mathers,
Yes.
J. Mathers,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Steers,
Yes.
Denman,
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Yeah, motion carries. Next is the village newsletter.
I gave you a very long-winded memo about discontinuing the village newsletter. In short, the last regular monthly newsletter will happen at the end of April, or the first, it'll be distributed in May, or mailed out in May. I think the logic for it is pretty sound. The newsletter will still be mailed to anybody who wants it mailed to them. But it will also be on our webpage, and you will get instructions in the last newsletter in early May for how to access our webpage. I think it might seem a little daunting and difficult right now, but it is pretty easy to access, and the entire newsletter will be contained on the webpage. We have at least one newsletter that every year that I don't even know if we have to do it legally anymore, but we're gonna continue to do it, and that's when it's time for the consumer confidence report, the water quality report. The minutes obviously there won't be minutes in the newsletter that isn't being received, but they have to be posted in 3 different prominent places in the village. And my plans right now are obviously for the village office, in the lobby here, or on the window, on the front window, so that you don't, if we're closed, you don't have to
Read the window.
skip or come inside to read it. But my plans are also to, if the library approves, to post a copy of the minutes there. And a third copy would either be the post office, if that's permitted, or I'd probably ask the bank if we could post a copy there. So we will be complying with the law with regard to meeting minutes, and saving a boatload of money for wear and tear on the copier, for the paper and printing expense, and for the bulk mail. This is something that I've been considering for a while, and Trustee King mentioned it at the last meeting. I thought now's a good time to run
Don't
this,
do
so.
This is what I suggested, before I see that look on your face. I know, I have like 5 family members in town that throw it away and never look at it. So I suggested that anybody that still wants it, let us know and we'll send you one. But why spend $6,000 a year printing paper for people to throw away? I mean, if somebody really wants one, all they gotta do is make a phone call or stop by. Everybody pays a water bill.
We'll have copies of them here in the
Right.
lobby. And like I say, I don't want you to call every single month saying I want the newsletter. If you want the newsletter mailed to you, just leave your name and address and we'll mail it to you every month.
The post office has always had a public board down there in the lobby, and I assume they still do.
Yeah, the board will still be used regularly for the sign,
Yeah.
for special events and for details about things like Christmas and Constantine, the golf outing, the 4th of July parade, the fireworks and so forth, so. I'm not absolutely promising that you're gonna see everything you've ever seen in the newsletter, but we'll endeavor to make that happen. And at the very least, the entire newsletter will be contained on our webpage.
What about our Facebook? Link on our Facebook page?
I
Should be.
don't know about Facebook. I think they're kinda limited to what you can put on there. I'm not positive
Okay.
about that, but
Can we check?
it will be accessible one way or the other.
All right.
Mr. President,
Yes. Thank you.
when Michigan Milk Producers was here making their presentation, when process is completed, any overflow will go directly into the river. That's what they said. Is Eagle going to be monitoring that outflow on how often, so that they aren't going to be putting a bunch of crap into the river? Have you had any conversation with them since that time about the quality of their discharge? Who will be monitoring that?
I don't know what that has to do with the newsletter.
It's not anything to do with the newsletter. I said this is about Michigan milk producers.
It's being what? It's,
And the sewer. They're going to be cut off from the sewer. And the refuse that'll be coming out of their production, they announced that they would be, according to Eagle's suggestion, depositing all of that in the river rather than in a line to Three Rivers or to the village. And I'm concerned who's going to be monitoring the quality of that discharge into the river.
again, what has that to do with the newsletter? Does it?
It's not anything to do with the newsletter.
Okay, then, never mind.
I questioned Mr. President about the Michigan milk producers. And
I think what Mark's saying, it should have been done under the public comment questions and things or so forth there. We passed that around.
well, but that was way before the question came up about the Michigan milk producers and where their flow was going to go. That's why the Michigan state law suggests a time for public comment at the end of the meeting.
The Eagle will be responsible for monitoring the discharge from.
Yes, but is the Village of Constantine going to be directly in conversation with them, some kind of a report about the condition of that outflow, and what happens if it becomes undesirable to go into the river?
Can you speak on as to what Eagle would do? I would assume that they're going to take responsibility.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the overflow or after they've treated it and then it goes out? Because you
Right.
said overflow.
No, I didn't say overflow.
Yeah, you did.
I
You
said
said-
outflow.
You said overflow, but that's what I'm asking. The overflow wouldn't go in the river, just the treated water would go into the river. Is what?
I don't know what the overflow is you're talking about.
I don't either, but you said that. that's why I questioned. Okay, the one, she's talking about just after they do their ethanol, whatever, the water that goes into the river, the EPA and Eagle are supposed to be monitoring that. That was,
Absolutely, absolutely Eagle and probably.
Right. And are they going to be reporting to the village on
Probably not.
those conditions? I would think you would want to know.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, is there something posted by the village if there's an overflow or something like that?
Oh, absolutely.
So they would have to do the same.
Yeah.
Would you like me to bring you all of my stuff that shows I'm a certified Southwest Michigan watershed person?
No.
That's why I ask these kinds of questions. I've been
And I think
to
we've
their,
answered it.
I've been to their workshops, I've got the certificate framed on my shelf. I'm not just sitting here making things up.
As Mark says, Eagle will be watching it and monitoring it, and the same as they do ours. And we make notices when there's an overflow or something, and I'm sure they would too. Three Rivers does. I've seen theirs in the paper too. Yes.
I live stream on Facebook. You can link a PDF file on a post on Facebook. And you can also could do like, if you want to post your website where it's located, you can copy, link it on there too. If that makes sense.
She's talking
She's
news.
talking
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
the newsletter.
she is talking about the newsletter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just letting you know you can do that because I've done it before, so.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we are at the end of our meeting. So we will adjourn, I can't do that. 7:42 PM. Thank you for coming.
Things do break down. Yeah. If it breaks down and it's not working correctly,